Alright, this is going to be a supplemental tutorial video for key levels. It's going to be for the key levels filtered version. So we've already done the basic version, gone over a lot of the functionality there. This has been coded now to basically track what I am tracking for my trade setup that I have decided to see how it performs, and to make that easier for myself, I've coded it in so that only that one particular trade that I'm looking for every day shows up. And I wanted to walk you through the functionality here and show you how it works. So I've changed the layout a little bit for the key levels filtered version. I've designated the flip level specifically up here by itself. That is gotten from the open interest graph that we generate every day in the spreadsheet. It's just where the open interest flips from negative to positive or from positive to negative, however you want to look at it. And so you just put in that value. It'll be the average between two bars, so just halfway between them. Today's was 598.5. I have that default as orange, and it will plot in that flip line for you on the chart. That's a very important one to do. If you do not identify this correctly, then the indicator will not work well. So, got to put that in there. Then I've kept 3 levels for both buy targets and sell targets. We've gone over how to identify those targets on the open interest graph. Green bar being the largest positive bar, the red bar being the largest negative bar, and then open interest levels that are targets that you can shoot for. Those are once again just determined by minimum or maximum that occur that are lower targets than the biggest bars on the graph. So you just put in those levels, click on the levels, any that you're interested in. I've changed this from just an open text field to a drop-down just to include the main options that I'm looking at, the green bar, the open interest, and I put this in. I'm not going to be using it right now, but in case people want to look at the gamma exposure, they can say basically that it came from there instead of the open interest. And then these are default green, these are default red. You can change them to whatever color that you desire. You can see here if you change this to say purple, it'll change it to purple. And if you change this to a different designation, it'll just automatically update the text there in the label. The next part to go over is this trade criteria. So the trade criteria basically allows you to determine what your max risk is that you want to have per trade. And once you've put that in there, this table up here in the right hand corner does a little calculation based on where your stop loss is going to be set and where your entry is going to occur. And based on that distance there, it'll do the calculation for you automatically and tell you how many contracts to risk. So if I want to risk $300 on, say, a $50,000 account, because that's what the stats of the indicator tell me I should risk, then it will do the calculation, put in that value there. So when the trade pops up on my chart, all I have to do is go here. Oh, it wants me to risk 4, sell. And I'm in the trade in just a matter of seconds. And then you can go back in and set your stop loss where it's supposed to be, set your take profit where you want it to be, and you're in the trade. It just helps speed up execution so you get in right away, and there isn't much delay from when the signal happens to when you get in the trade. The next thing is the candle look back for recent high or low. This is how the indicator sets your stop loss. So I typically have this set at 5. That seems to work really well in identifying the stop loss. So it just kind of looks back, says where's the high that I want to set my stop loss on. There it is. Boom. It draws in the nice red stop loss line so that you know where to set that. The gray line here shows you where the trade entry is. So let's just delete this off for 1 second. so we can see a little better. So the red line is your stop loss. The gray line is where the entry is. Since we're trading this on a Heikin-Ashi candle chart, it's difficult to see where the actual value is that you wanted to get on the close of the signal candle. And so I've had that drawn in there so you know exactly where you want your trade entry to be in order to get the risk-reward ratio that the indicator should be giving you. So you could either, if it goes past that, you could set a limit order so that when it comes back and tags you in, you can write it in the trade where it's supposed to get in. Or if it comes back, you can know that you're getting in a better position than where the trade is supposed to have been entered. And then finally it plots the green line where your take profit is. So the green line you can adjust, and how I've coded this for many of my other indicators is often I'll set standard risk-reward ratios. So say a 1-to-1, a 1-to-2, 1 to 1.5. And what this TP ratio does is it just lets you type in exactly that ratio that you want, and then it will adjust where that target line will go to. Let's say you wanted to risk 1-to-2, and that's what you always wanted to risk. It'll just move that line to right where a 1-to-2 risk-reward ratio is. That way it's easy for you to just right-click and add the trade to your chart. The number of bars for trade display, basically this just extends the trade lines. So these lines, they just get drawn out further based on what that number is. I usually just keep it at 10, so I have a good line to set it on, and then I'm able to do that quickly, and it doesn't get in the way of all the price action and candles that are coming up on the chart. I already went over this, and so that's pretty much it. The contracts table location, this allows you to move this table in different locations on the chart based on your preference. I usually just keep it in the top right hand corner. It's a good place to have it. I wanted to just demonstrate the calculation for you. So let's say I wanted to risk, say, $1,000 per trade, and set it like that. So now you can see it shifts it to 16 contracts. So you would have wanted to risk 16 micros on this distance in order to risk as close to $1,000 without going over on that trade. So there you go with that. And I wanted to show you, back up just a little bit more here until we got the trade tool back on here again. So this was a 4.26, and so if you knew what target you wanted and you wanted that trade line to line up for whatever reason, you can just look at this risk-reward ratio that is shown on your short or long tool. I always have those on my favorites, so I can just quickly grab it and draw it in however it's supposed to be, and then it'll just tell me my risk-reward ratio there, and then you can take that and put it into the indicator very easily, and it will move that green line to where it should be for your trade. Just to remind you, I guess, which level you're targeting, and that's it. So the alerts are the same, everything else is the same. It just limits you to that one trade that I'm looking for every day to track. Got any questions, just hit me on the Discord, and that's it. Thanks for tuning in. See ya.